All right, there we go. Trinomials, w squared minus 8w plus 12. All right, so they want us to factor this trinomial. So how do we factor this thing? So first off, I want you to notice that the methods we've been learning won't work. We need something new. The stuff we just did in the last section is not going to work. They don't have anything in common, right? And it's not 4 terms. We can't do a 2-2 thing. So we're already stuck. At least the methods from the last section don't work. You guys with me on that? Want me to say that one more time? What's in common? Nothing. They don't all have a W. Right? There's not a number. They all. If I was to do one big parenthesis, what would I put in the front? There's nothing in common. And I can't do it the way we did those last few, the 2-2 split, because there's only 3 terms. There's not 4. So I need a new game plan. What's the game plan? Well, actually, before we do the game plan, let me remind you what you I think already know. Let's take x plus 2 and x plus 3. Can you multiply those real quick? Remember how to FOIL those out? Let me just do it with you. Remember, you go first to both, second, so x times x squared, plus 3x, and then this guy goes to both, plus 2x plus 6, right? Then you combine those two like terms, 5x plus 6, right? You do that all the time. That's called multiplying. When you go from there to there, that's called multiplying, right? Are we good with that? We've done lots of that in the homework the last couple of days, right? Where you FOIL out, multiply out, terms like that. Well, today we're factoring, which means we're trying to do that backwards. Remember, factoring is multiplying backwards. So, in other words, they're gonna start me here, and they're gonna say, "Hey, what 2 parentheses were multiplied that became this? Can you tell us?" That's what we're trying to do. Figure out what was it before it was multiplied and became this. Well, let's think for a minute. Since I just multiplied it, let's just look at it and think how we might do that. Where'd that 6 come from, first off? If you're looking at this one, trying to guess what it came from, what would you think about the 6? Where does the 6 come from? Yeah, it came from multiplying 2 times 3. Well, where'd the 5 come from? That wasn't multiplying 2 times 3. That was adding the 2 plus the 3. So, what we notice right away, when you have the 3 terms, the back one comes from multiplying, right? That's what happened when I just did that. And the middle one came from adding 2 and 3. So the back comes from multiplying, the middle comes from adding. That's just the fact when you multiply out 2 parentheses, huh? So let's think that way. Let's come back here and say, oh, okay. This guy comes from multiplying. This guy comes from adding. And there's got to be 2 parentheses that make that happen. And W's in the front. Why? Because that's what we have here, right? X is in the front. Same thing. So just plop down your W's to 2 parentheses, not just 1 parenthesis now, but 2. 2 parentheses, W's in the front. I'm just following the pattern. And how do you know what numbers go back here? What multiplies to be 12, huh? Remember? Looking back here, right? Number at the back comes from multiplying. So what multiplies to be 12? Yeah, there's a few options. I could go 4 times 3, 6 times 2, 8 times 1. No, 12. 12 times 1. They all multiply to be 12. How do you know which pair of numbers you want? Right? Let me put it over here. 4 times 3 is 12. 6 times 2 and 12 times 1. They're all multiplying to be 12. Good. Then the middle thing. The middle comes from adding. That's why that matters, right? The back comes from multiplying. The middle comes from adding. So which of these pairs of numbers can somehow add to be a negative 8? Well, the 6 and 2 if you make them both negative, huh? So negative 6 and negative 2. That's our answer. Because what is negative times negative? 2 negatives multiply to be positive 12, and they add to be negative 8, don't they? And so that's our pair. You can put it in the other order. You can put the W minus 2 first, and the W minus 6. It doesn't matter. But that's my pair. Is that good? Questions on that one? Are we happy? let's try t squared minus 9t plus 18. So right away you do the two parentheses, t's in the front, and you write multiply over the end and add over the middle. Find those two numbers that times each other to be 18 and add to be negative 9. Give that a try. All right, what two numbers multiply to be 18? What times what is 18?
6 and 3.
Yeah, 6. You could do 2 times 9, but that won't work to make the 9. Well, 6 times 3 is the pair you want, huh? You want a 6 and a 3. What signs do they need?
Negative.
Both negative, because two negatives will add to be a bigger negative, right? Because with adding, subtracting, you just think about money or football, gains and losses. If you lose $6 and lose $3, you lost $9. But the two negatives multiply to be positive 18. So it's right. Either order, you can put the minus 3 first and the minus 6. Doesn't matter. Are we good? If I checked that, if I foiled that out, it would go back. All right, stop me if you have 5 questions. If you have questions. All right, let's try this one. A squared plus A plus 24. Try that one. So two parentheses, A's in the front, two numbers that multiply to be, what number's in the middle? 1. What two numbers multiply to be 24? That'd be like 4 times 6, 2 times 12, 3 times 8. I don't know what else. 1 times 24, I guess. Anyway, which of those add to be plus 1? None. No way. This is B, not factorable, huh? This one's totally not factorable. So everybody says there's no way you can multiply to be 24 and add to be 1. Not factorable. Good on that? Makes sense? Not factorable. Okay, I'm going to move. Okay, we'll do it. So s squared minus 5s minus 14. Okay, try that one. Those are s. Can you tell my s's from my 5s? Sorta. So S is in the front. What multiplies to be 14, adds to be minus 5. Watch the signs. The sign will come from the middle, especially. So what multiplies to be 14? What times what's 14?
7.
Yeah, 7 and 2. 2 times 7 is 14. Now, how can they make minus 5? Yeah, let me give you a simple rule to make it simple. The sign in the middle goes to the bigger number. So negative in the middle is going to go on the 7. And the other one will be plus. Does that make sense? The sign in the middle goes on the bigger every time. So the sign in the middle goes to the bigger. Why? Because he dominates. The bigger one dominates. If you lose $7 and you gain back only 2, you lost 5, huh? Is that good? And they do multiply to be negative 14. So that's right. So the sign, that'll make the signs easier. Sign in the middle goes on the bigger. Goes on the bigger number every time. Is that good? That make sense? Did you guys get a good night's sleep? You well rested? You didn't stay up like 2 a.m. doing fireworks or something like that? So my neighbors did. Some of my neighbors. Which is fine with me, except for my dogs go kind of crazy. And then, yes, and there's not a lot of sleeping in my house. My little dogs. I said I came home early from our little party to be with my dogs, right? Comfort them. The dogs that I never wanted, right? And while my daughters who wanted the dogs stay at the party, I always kid my girls. And, you know, one of my girls is going away to college here in a month and a half, you know, and she's not taking the dogs with her, of course, right? So and the other one's about 2 years from going away. They're 19 and 17, about 2 years from going away. So I'm always telling them, I see the future. 5-10 years from now, all 5 of you kids will be gone, moved out somewhere, and it'll be me and these stupid dogs that I never wanted. I'll come home and they'll be, you know, standing there like, go away. I'll leave the gate open. You run. It'll all work out. That's my little lesson. They kept me up late, barking and doing their little problems. So, all right. So let's try r cubed minus 6r squared minus 16r. Oh, so this one's a combo of last section and this section. So what I mean is, first step, take out the GCF with one big parenthesis. So you got to do that first. So if there is a GCF, you got to do that first before you jump into the two parentheses. So what's in common to all three of those? R. They've all got an R, huh? So you take out the R, one big parenthesis, and then what goes inside? Well, whatever works. R times R squared, R times minus 6R, R times minus 16. Good so far? Now, just leave that R in the front, and now do the 2. Does that make sense? When there's a GCF, you got to always be on the watch for that. Always be on the watch. You know, whatever technique, and you know, like tomorrow we're going to get more and fancier ways of factoring, but the first thing is always, is there a GCF? If so, do that first, one big parenthesis, then do your fancy stuff after. So now do the two parentheses. What multiplies and adds R's in the front? Okay, what times what is 16? 8 and 2. Right, or 2 and 8. Order doesn't matter. But the signs matter, huh? How do you know where the signs go? Sign on the bigger, sign on the middle goes to the bigger, right. Sign on the middle goes to the bigger every time. So it's minus 8 plus 2. And you can put the plus 2 here and the minus 8 back there. That doesn't matter. The order doesn't matter. But the signs do matter. The minus has got to be on the 8 wherever he may go. Right? So if you lose $8 and gain 2, you lost 6. That's right. Negative times positive is negative in the back.
So are you only just trying to figure out the big number?
Big.
It's negative 8 times 2 equals negative 16. So you're only trying to figure out negative 16R then, not 6R squared?
Okay. Well, this we're no longer looking back to because we took out the R. Does that make sense? So first off, don't be looking back here once you've taken out a GCF. Because you're not trying to factor this anymore. This has been broken down to this. And now you're taking just this and breaking it down. Like these guys multiply to be this, which multiplies to go back to that. Right? Yeah, so just looking right here, yeah, is how it works. Yeah, once you do a step, you're not going backwards. Yeah. Good? Other questions on that? That makes sense? You good with that? See how the signs are all right? Negative times positive is negative in the back. And they add to be negative 6 in the middle. On that, okay. So let's try c to the 4th plus 2c squared minus 80. Try that one. You know, there's just a small trick on that one. You're gonna go. There's nothing in common, by the way, is there? There's nothing. They don't all have a c. The 80 doesn't have a c. There's no number they all have. So nothing in common, so skip the one big parenthesis, go right to the 2. Are you with me on that? You see the difference? If there's something in common, you got to do the one big parenthesis step before you do the 2. If there's nothing in common, go right to the 2. Right? There's nothing they all have. They don't all have a C. They don't all have a number. There's nothing in common. Go right to the 2. Okay, great. So what am I going to put in the front? Now, these are bigger powers. What times what? Front times front. What times what is c to the 4th? Yeah, c squared, c squared. The rest is the same. The rest is, what multiplies to be this, what adds to be that. The rest is regular. Just c squared's in the front instead of regular c's in the front. Because c squared adds to be c to the 4th. Can you take it from there? Now, if you're looking at that 80 going, I don't know. Oh, maybe you're not. Maybe you're just, 88, you're probably thinking 8 times 10, right? That's right. So 8 times 10. How do the signs go? Yeah, sign in the middle always goes to the big guy, right? Plus 10 minus 8. Makes plus 2 in the middle. They multiply to be negative 80. How are we doing? We making sense out of that? Questions I can answer? All right. If you're good, okay, try that one. So c to the 3rd minus 2c squared minus 15c. Factor that one. What's in common to all the terms? So you got to do the one big parenthesis step on this one before you do the 2's. Everybody see that? Because this time there is something in common. So you got to do the c with the one big parenthesis, and then on the next step go to the 2. You can't go straight to the 2. Everybody see the difference? When they have something in common, you got to do that first with the one big parenthesis, then go to the 2. So first do the c. C times what? We'll go back to c cubed. C squared, because it's c to the 1 out here, right? Powers add, right? And c to the 1 times minus 2c to the 1. And c to the 1 times minus 15. Good to there so far? Now go to the 2. And what do you do with the c to the 1? He stays out there. Whatever GCF you take out, that just stays there to the very end. Now do the 2 parentheses, finish it from there. C's in front, right? What multiplies to be 15 adds to be minus 2. What times what's 15? 5 and 3, 3 and 5, either or, doesn't matter. How do the signs go? Sign in the middle goes to the bigger. Minus 5 plus 3. That multiplies to be negative 15. And if you lose $5 and gain 3, you lost 2. Adds to be negative 2. It's perfect. Is that okay then? Do you see when we go straight to the 2 parentheses versus when we do the one big parenthesis with the GCF, right? When they have a GCF. When they have something in common. If they have something in common, you got to do the one big parenthesis first with the GCF, then go to the 2. Like so. Good. So 25 minus 2r plus r squared. Okay, try that. Well, you know what his issue is? First off, what needs to be done with him? He needs to be rearranged. He's out of order. So reorder from highest power. So take this r squared and put it in the front. Take 25, put it in the back. So r squared minus 2r plus 1. You always want to reorder them from highest power to lowest if they're out of order. So do that first, and then the rest is normal. Was that one factor? It doesn't factor, does it? No. I didn't realize that. There's no way to factor that. There's nothing. If you try to do the 2 parentheses, the r's, what's going to multiply to be 25? Be 5 and 5. That's not going to add to be minus 2. This This is not factorable. I didn't realize that one. That's a not factorable one. Normally, though, you rearrange them and they can be factored. Okay? I move on from that one. Now we're at the halfway point in this section. (36 minus 5v minus v squared). Okay, first off, reorder. Reorder. And when you reorder, you got to go from highest power to lowest. And you take their signs with them. Do you know what I mean by that? Whatever sign is in front of somebody, that's their sign. That's their baby. You take your baby with you. What's in front of that 36? Nothing but a plus sign. So flip those two. So minus v squared minus 5v plus 36. Everybody good to there? So far, so good. Now, another special rule. When negative in the front, take out -1 GCF with one big parenthesis, all signs change. Yeah, this one's got a couple wrinkles. So first off, we reorder. And then we notice, hey, we got a negative in the front. Well, when you got a negative in the front, you've got to do a step where you do a -1 with one big parenthesis, and all the signs will change. So negative v squared becomes v squared. Negative 5v becomes plus v. Plus 36 becomes minus 36. Like that. So far, so good. Do you see what happened there? To see if this -1, if you tried to multiply this -1 through, it would go back, wouldn't it? I'm not going to really multiply. I'm just showing you it's right so far. Everybody see that? -1 times v squared would be minus 2. -1 times 5v, minus 5v. -1 times minus 36 plus 36. So far, so good. Now, that's why that's right. Last step, the -1 stays in the front. Now, finally, we do the two parentheses. V's in the front. What multiplies to be 36 adds to be 5? What times what is 36? Right? You do multiply for the back number, add for the middle. Yeah, 4 times 9. Did you notice that? 4 times 9, or 9 times 4, either way you want to say it, makes 36, and sign in the middle, plus, goes on the bigger, on the 9. So it's -4 plus 9, either order. Makes plus 5 in the middle, multiplies to be negative 36. There we go. You do have to have that -1 in the front there. -1 is in the very front. There it is. Does that make sense on that? Everybody see that? So let me go over it one more time. Reorder it. And then when the minus is in the front, you got to factor out a -1 and all the signs change with one big parenthesis. Then finish from there. Okay. 28 minus b squared minus 3b. So first step, reorder. Reorder them.
And you don't always reorder, correct? You only reorder when you want the biggest number at the end, correct?
No, we always reorder from highest power to lowest, whenever they're out of that order. Yeah, we always reorder if they're not already highest power to lowest. So you want the highest power to lowest, so we get b squared minus 3b plus 28. So you put that plus 28 at the back. Good.
What about the negative in front of the base?
Oh, I lost it. Thank you. And that's not good. There you go. Thank you. Yeah, right? You gotta keep your baby, right? Whatever sign's in front, that's your baby. So take it from there. Oh, and now what are you going to do? Now that you have a minus in the very front, what does that mean we need to do? Do minus 1 with one big parenthesis. GCF minus 1. Right? And that's going to change all the signs. So it'll become a b squared, a plus 3b, and a minus 28. Everybody good with that? And now, leave that minus 1 in the front. Now do the two parentheses to finish it up. Everybody see that? When you have that minus in the front, you got to do the GCF negative 1, one big parenthesis, all signs change. So this is B and B. What multiplies to be 28 adds to be 3. What times what's 28? 7 times 4 is 28. Sign in the middle always goes to the bigger. Plus 7 minus 4. There we go. Questions on that? That good? You could change the order, so you could have it like this. So that's okay also. Yes, so as long as the 4 is negative wherever he goes and the 7 is positive wherever he goes, the order doesn't matter, the signs in front do matter. So that's a fine answer also, which you should know on the multiple choice test. You know, the order doesn't matter, the signs do. All right. 60 minus 7v minus v squared. Try that one. Okay, so reorder. And then GCF minus 1, all signs change. Good to there, you getting to there okay? Reorder, GCF minus 1, all signs change. Now, finish it from there, do the two parentheses. What multiplies to be 60 adds to be 7? What times what is 60? 12 and 5. How do they add to be 7? Sign in the middle goes to the bigger. Plus 12 minus 5. And we're done. Is that good there? No questions? Good, all right. Okay, so v squared plus 6vf minus 27f squared. All right, let's do this one. We'll finish this section. Take our break. So try that. The only difference with this one is you got f squared. Let me just give you that. Oh, first off, what's in common to all the two? You always want to ask it. Do they all have a v? No, the back one doesn't have any v at all. Do they all have an f? No, the front one doesn't have any f at all. Is there like a number they all have? Nope, the front one doesn't have any numbers at all. Nothing in common. No GCF. No one big parenthesis, jump right to the 2. See what I'm saying? So you look for a common, something in common. They all have an X, or all have a letter, or all have a number. If they don't, go right to the 2 parentheses. If there's something in common, you got to put the GCF in the front with the 1 parenthesis. But if there's nothing in common, go right to the 2. Right to the 2. So go right to the 2. We have v squared on the left, like normal, which means they're going to have v's on the left. Now the weird part, the new part, is we have f squared. We have letters on the right also. That's a little weird. What does that mean? What do you think? F's on the right. The rest is normal. Let me answer this question. A lot of people have asked me over the years a good question. Now they go, wait, Mr. Shouldn't we reorder those? They kind of look like they're out of order. No, actually, they're in good order. You don't want to reorder those. I know it's confusing. You go, well, yeah, but that's f squared. That's got to come before. Well, no, when there's 2 letters, you can't order by 2 letters because they would do different things. You've got to order by only 1 letter. So just pick your favorite and go by him and him alone. Right? If there's 2 letters, you can only go highest to lowest for 1 letter at a time. So just pick the one that's in the front. So they have v squared. So I'm just going to make sure the terms go in order from highest power of v without any regard to f to lowest power of v, again, without any regard to f. F's invisible to my eyeballs. So I go v squared, highest power of v. V to the first, and no v at all. I don't care there's f there. I'm not even looking at f. I'm just looking at 1 letter at a time. Highest v, v squared, regular v, no v. Good order. Don't need to mess with the order. That makes sense? Don't pay attention to 2 letters at the same time. Just focus on v alone. V squared, v, no v. Good. Good order. So then we go to the factoring. V's in the front, right? V squared on the left, so v in the left of each parenthesis. V times v is v squared. F squared in the right, f's in the right of each parenthesis. F times f is f squared. Other than that, just do the numbers. That's the only new part. If you got f squared in the right, put f's in the right of each parenthesis, do the numbers. So what multiplies? And so I'll let you finish it up. If you have now. Okay, what multiplies between 7, 9, and 3, huh? Sign in the middle goes on the bigger. Plus 9 minus 3. It's plus 6 in the middle, multiplies to be negative 27. Are we good there? That makes sense? Questions on that one? Okay, well let's take our 10-minute break.